Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री दाऊजी महाराज की, श्री झूलन यात्रा महामहोत्सव के, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा। सो अमेरिका में
Hare Krishna. So in United States, we celebrated Balaram Purnima. And according to Bharatvarsh, India, it's today, or Balaram Purnima is today. And on this auspicious day, our large Mata, who is in Mumbai, Bharat, their son Prakash Lakhania's birthday is today. So for their for blessings, they have organized this session, seeking these blessings for their son. So we are extremely fortunate that in the pious Chaturmasya month, these auspicious days are going on. And in Bharatvarsh, today is Balram Jayanti. So today is the last day of Jhulan Yatra in India. And we all have been swinging, oscillating the Lord since quite a few days. And we all are singing the songs as well in celebration. So we all have sung Jhulan songs, but today I have this desire to listen to Jhulan Gita. So you might say that we have heard about Bhagavad Gita, Ram Gita, Lakshman Gita, Ashtavakra Gita. But what is this Jhulan Gita?
So ये झूलन गीता क्या है?
So what exactly is this Jhulan Gita? Have you ever heard about it? You might have heard about the Jhulan Geets or songs. So we all listen to the same. But have you heard the Jhulan Gita? How would you listen? Because it's going to be happening first time. So we are launching it today. So let's listen to this Srimad Jhulan Gita. So there are 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita, and in other Gitas also there are innumerous verses. But in this Jhulan Gita there are 5 major things. And what are those? So note down today's day, that is on the occasion of Balram Purnima, we are doing this Jhulan Gita. So there are 5 things, and first and foremost, whenever you sit on a swing or oscillate yourself, or you oscillate others, then there are 5 things that are of prime importance. So there are 5 chapters in this. As in Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters. So the first chapter is, what should be the first consideration while swinging. So this action of swinging, so there are two things, that it goes forward and it comes back. So when it's in standing position, then it is straight. But when we oscillate it, it swings forward and backward and so on and so forth. So this action is the first chapter. Then the second chapter is the swing can never oscillate on its own accord. So we need to make it, either you have to do it with the support of your legs or by the help of others, requesting them to push you. So then from this neutral position, it moves forward and backward. So it doesn't oscillate on its own. And the third chapter is, if you oscillate the swing in a great force, because there is a speed limit in a swing, but if you try to oscillate it more than what it is destined to do, then you might feel a little more excited, but at the same time, it will become a little riskier as well. If you don't take this precaution, then that will be very risky. So this is the third chapter. And the fourth chapter is, if you have oscillated the swing with a great force, then that if you want to stop it, then it will take a lot of time. If it's swinging slowly, then you can stop it instantly. But when it's oscillated in a high frequency, then we need to stop it. And if we want to stop it, then it will take a longer time. And the fifth chapter is whether it is oscillating with slowly or with great force, no matter what, but the basis or foundation is the rope or the rod by which it is tied. So the swing depends on this rope and the rod. Thus concludes the fifth chapter of Jhulan Gita. So this is about the normal swing that we oscillate. So what are we to, we should understand or learn from here. So we learn a lesson from this swing. So first and foremost chapter is what? In Srimad Jhulan Gita, the first chapter was that it comes forward and backwards. You can see in the backdrop, Radha Krishna are swinging together. So what is going on? From the neutral position, it is coming forward and going backwards. So the action in this swinging, that is to come forward and go back. So to come forward is signifies or denotes happiness, but going back is distress or sadness. And that is why it is called the swing. So in this manner, the swing never stays stationary, it oscillates to and forth. Similarly, our life is also not fixated, it's always temporary or moving. Therefore, a Sufi saint has sung beautifully.
का यही रंग बदलता जाए, रंग बदलता जाए, जीवन का यही रंग बदलता जाए, रंग बदलता जाए, सुख और दुख तेरी छाया पल पल में पलटाए, पल पल में पलटाए, जीवन का यही रंग बदलता जाए, जी रंग बदलता जाए। हमारा जीवन भी एक झूला है।
So, our life is also similar to a swing, and it is also oscillating. As in a swing, it comes forward and then it goes backwards as well. Similarly, our life also has happiness and distress. So, on one page, or the leaf of life is happiness, and the other leaf is filled with sadness. So, as the swing is never fixated, similarly, our life is also not fixed. Oh, devotees, this is the fundamental form or nature of this human life. So, we should not cry listening to this, that, oh, I'm distressed in my life. So, to have this sadness hurdle in your life is also the happiness of at the same time. So if when you sit on the swing, then when it goes back, you don't cry that it's going backward. So otherwise you sit on a chair, because if you're sitting on a swing, then definitely it's going to oscillate. Similarly, we've got this human body, we are born in this material world, then this will go forward and backward as well. That is sadness or and happiness go hand in hand. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Shri Krishna told the first advice or counsel to Arjuna as follows.
शीतोष्ण सुख दुखदा आगमा पाइनो नित्या ताम तितिक्ष्वस्व भारत। कृष्ण कहते हैं अर्जुन, ये भगवद
Krishna says, "O Arjuna," so this is the first counsel or advice of Krishna to Arjuna. He says, "Oh Arjuna, in your life you will get happiness and distress in your life. For example, after winters there are summers and vice versa. And as after night there is a day, and so on and so forth.
ठीक उसी प्रकार
Similarly, in our life, after happiness we get distress, and so on and so forth, or vice versa.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna. So, बहुत सुंदर प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से हम यहाँ पर झूलन गीता श्रवण कर रहे हैं। और झूलन गीता के जो 5 अध्याय प्रभु जी ने हमें गिनाए हैं, उस पर बहुत ही सुंदर चर्चा हो रही है, जो कि हम सब के लिए विचारणीय वस्तु है, क्योंकि हम सब भी जीवन की इस झूलन यात्रा से गुजर रहे हैं। बहुत सुंदर ये पर्व चल रहा है जहाँ पर प्रभु जी ये सुंदर महिमा हमें श्रवण करा रहे हैं। आज बलराम जयंती है, तो आइए निवेदन करते हैं प्रभु जी से।
So कृष्ण कहते हैं कि अर्जुन,
So Krishna says, "Oh Arjuna,
जैसे ठंडी के बाद गर्मी और
as
गर्मी के बाद ठंडी का
after
मौसम आती है,
winters there are summers, and after summers there is again winter, and as after day comes the night, and again it repeats itself. Similarly, in our life also we get happiness and distress.
दो प्रकार का आइसक्रीम होता है।
So there are 2 types of ice creams. One is plain vanilla, and then the other is with the dry fruits. So this human life is not plain vanilla. It is similar to dry fruit ice cream. When you take a spoon, then sometimes you get plain ice cream and you get some dry fruit, and sometimes you just keep on searching but you don't get the dry fruit. So this is the nature of the life itself as well. So this swing teaches us the essence of human life. The swing is the one which oscillates, and when it is in action, then you get happiness and distress at the same time. So you get both in a cyclic form. So he adds further that the coming of happiness and sadness will keep on going, but a brave heart person should not, or a patient person should not be deterred by this situation. When he gets extremely happy, then he should not jump in ecstasy, nor he should be extremely despondent during distress. So in this manner, so I can speak for 7 days on this, but let's keep it short. So this is the first chapter, that in swing, it is not stationary, but it keeps on moving. Similar is our life. It's not stagnant or stationary. It goes on back and forth with some happiness and distress at the same time. And then the second point was that without a push, that swing will never oscillate. So we need a little push. Similarly, in our life also, the happiness and sadness that we get, they're not independent. So they are not independent. So they are there because of the push of someone. And the thing that pushes it is nothing else but our own deeds or karma. So whatever happiness and distress, ups and downs in the life we get, so Krishna says that Prakriti Kriya Manani Gune. So these are dependent on the three modes of material nature. And but a foolish person who is ignorant thinks that if I'm getting happiness, then I am the one who has bought this happiness in my life. So we see that people say that this is my house, my car, my business, etc. And I have done this. But when we get distress, then we blame the Lord that why you have given us this sadness. So whatever is good, we become prideful. But when we are grief-stricken, then we blame the Lord for our sorrows. So in essence, the happiness and sorrow that we get, suffering that we get, doesn't come on its own accord. So it's given to us by the three modes of material nature, and these three modes of material nature or the people give us this distress or happiness, then it is dependent on our own karma or deeds that we have performed. So in the first chapter, we said that the life is bound to have happiness and distress at the same time. The second, as life and in life, happiness and distress come, and it requires a push. So whatever good or evil actions that we have performed, and only those deeds give the push in our life in the form of happiness and grief. If you are feeling happy, then you might have performed some great piety or good work. But if you are saddened, then maybe you have done something wrong with someone. So without blaming others, we should try to rectify or measure our own actions. So in the third chapter, this swing should be in should be in tandem. So if we want to swing, then we should do it in a measured manner. We should not take it or ride it with a great force. So you might feel a little more excitement, but it will be riskier as well. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, how should be the swing of our life? It should be yukta. Yukta is in a measured manner. So it should be appropriate. So we should not have anything we should not have anything more or less. It should be proper, measured, balanced. So we should not eat more, nor we should eat less, nor we should sleep more or less. So, and we should not entangle in sense gratification also, or neglect completely as well. So everything should be balanced. And if you want to evade this grief or sorrow, then this swing should always be balanced. If you enjoy only sense gratification, then you will be in trouble. And if you try to ignore them completely, then also there will be a distress. So in the fourth chapter, it is said, if someone pushes the swing with a great force or oscillates with a strong force, then to stop it, it will require some patience or time. Similarly, a person who has enjoyed all the sense gratification, or his life is filled with sense gratification or sense enjoyment, then for such a person to control their senses, it will require too much time and patience. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishyan Punsa, while enjoying your senses, and your life has always been engrossed in the same, that by just enjoying your senses, then during the end of your life, to control these senses will become extremely difficult, as when you're oscillated the swing in the great force, and if you want to stop it, then it will not stop instantly. Similarly, if we have enjoyed our senses greatly and then we want to control them instantly, it's not going to work. Why? Because this sense gratification is like the silkworm. A silkworm, through the saliva, makes or creates its own home, and it creates such a home that it gets entangled in its own home that he has created, and then he dies in the same. Similarly, the swing, if you are swinging at a high speed and you feel dizzy and you want to stop it instantly, it's not going to work, because it is in a great speed or velocity. So if there is too much of sense gratification in your life, then you need to control them, curtail them. Otherwise, you won't be able to control them. So the sense gratification should be also measured or balanced in your life. So whether this swing is moving slow or fast, but the base or the foundation of the same is the rope or the rod by which it stands. So in our life, the happiness and distress that we get is based on the rope and the rod, that signify Lord Sri Krishna himself. In our life, if we get happiness according to our evil deeds or good deeds, then ultimately they are sanctioned by Krishna. Whatever happiness or distress that we get, they all are sanctioned by the Lord, but they depend on our actions as well. So if someone performs devotional service towards the Lord, then if Krishna desires, then he can remove our sorrows, because everything is dependent on that rope or rod that is Krishna. So these 5 chapters of Jhulan Gita are concluded. And if we understand this essence, then our life will be filled with bliss and love. So after sharing a small pastime, we will proceed to the kirtan or congregational chanting. So once it so happened, Lord Shri Krishna was roaming in the forest and he was feeling something. So he was feeling little secluded or lonely. So although he is Purna Purushottam, he doesn't require anything else to support him. He's a supreme personality. But even today, I am feeling that there is something missing. So in Gujarati, they said that when they are extremely happy, they'll say that there is nothing that is missing here. But today, Krishna is missing something, that he is the Lord himself, but he's unable to understand or pin to what exactly is missing. Then he called the Vedas. He memor and all the Vedas came in their personal form with folded hands. They stood in front of the Lord. So if the Lord just signals, they will be there. So all the Vedic scriptures and Vedas were standing there. Lord said that although I am the Lord, but I am unable to understand that there is something that is missing here. Then, so what shall I do that there is something missing? So, oh, Vedic scriptures, Upanishads, Vedas, etc. You just let me know what is missing here. Then all the Vedas in one voice said that, oh my Lord, you already have everything. You have the whole strength, opulence, beauty, fame. It's everything. All the six opulences you have. But there is only one thing that is missing, and what's that? Then Srimad Bhagavatam personified spoke. It said that there is only one thing that is missing, and that is the dust of the lotus feet of your exalted devotee. You have everything, but you lack only that. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, oh Rahuguna, if we just perform austerity alone, or to follow celibate life alone, or to leave your household, you will not attain the Lord. But how are you going to attain the Lord? Till the point you don't get the dust of the lotus feet of an exalted devotee, you will not be able to attain the Lord. Because the dust of the Lord is far more potent than the Lord himself. And Chaitanya Charitamrita then started speaking. He said, so Krishna had this thought that whatever is missing is the lotus dust, the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur recites,
चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलती कारमूल। ठाकुर भक्ति विनोद भी आ गए, बोले महाराज ये लोग सही बोल रहे हैं।
Thakur Bhakti Vinod also agrees that you are the complete Lord, Purna Purushottam, but the only thing that is lacking here is the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. And to the point, Ramayana also came forward, and she said, they said that that is true.
Guru pad padam paraga bandhavu guru pad padam paraga bandhavu guru pad padam paraga bandhavu guru pad padam paraga सुरुचि सुबा ससरस अनुरागा सुरुचि सुबा ससरस अनुरागा। कृष्ण ने कहा ये रामायण तू बंद था, क्योंकि तुम तो गाना शुरू करोगे फिर बंद नहीं होगा। तो रामायण ने कह दिया कि बंद गुरु।
Even Ramayana also says that the dust of the lotus, the dust of the devotees is also missing. So all the Vedic scriptures and injunctions, Vedas, Upanishads agree that only thing that is amiss here is the dust of the lotus feet of your devotee. And if you get it, then whatever you feel is short here, you won't feel the same. And by speaking thus, they all left. And Krishna started contemplating that. So first, he thought that, where is my exalted stalwart devotee? So he came in Amrit Charcha and started looking at each and everyone's face. Is there a pure devotee here? So here you have international forum or assembly. So, so Krishna chose from Amrit Charcha that let me select from here. And then after roaming here and there, he decided that my great devotee is Srimati Radharani, and there can be no one far greater stalwart devotee like her, because she is the one who worships the Lord, who is the personification of devotional service and love towards the Lord. So she is a pure devotee, and they have said that the dust of the pure devotee is going on. So now Krishna planned that now let the Jhulan festivities arrive. So as we all are waiting, even the Lord Kanhaiya also wait for the same. And when it was the monsoon, then
घटाए घन घोर सावन का महीना घटाए घन घोर कदम की डाली झूले श्री राधानंद किशोर हे जी कदम की डाली झूले श्री राधानंद किशोर सावन का महीना आ गया.
So the monsoon season was round the corner, and Krishna came early. And Radharani had decorated the swing for Srimati Radharani. Krishna came, and Radharani made Krishna sit on the swing, and she started oscillating him. So Krishna was extremely satisfied and happy, and he said, "Oh, Srimati Radharani, I have one desire. Is that you should sit on the swing, and I will oscillate you, swing you." So to fulfill the desire of Krishna, that is the work of Srimati Radharani, utmost desire of Srimati Radharani. So usually when a person pushes the swing, then usually a person stands behind and then they give the push. So Krishna started pushing Radharani from behind. So first it was in slow motion, then he started increasing the speed so that she is unable to stop. And when the swing was oscillating at a great velocity, speed, then as he has heard that that the only thing missing is the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee. So when someone is swinging, then their feet come forward. So Radharani's feet were in the front, and Krishna touched the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, and he took the dust of Srimati Radharani and put on his head. And Krishna was thinking that he is the most fortunate. Now he spoke in Gujarati, there is nothing missing. So during the Jhulan Yatra, our scholars and acharyas have described these pastimes, that at this time Krishna took the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Krishna's one pastime creates or puts the foundation of innumerous pastimes of future. When Krishna took the dust of Srimati Radharani, then Radharani became angry And she said that you should stop this swing instantly. Krishna stopped it, and Radharani became upset and said that uh, there cannot be anyone who is more greedier than you. And I haven't seen anyone far more money-minded than you. So she said that when you were small, you started stealing the butter now, and later you started stealing their clothes, and now you're stealing the dust of the devotees. There is nobody who is far more greedier than you. So, so he said that now you have put a great blame on me. I want to get relieved of this blame. So Radharani said that you have to do one thing, but you should first promise that you will do it. So she says that don't you desire the welfare of the living entities? Have you ever done it? So he said that I always try to pay. So he says that whoever perform devotional service, you benefit them, you become their well-wisher. So if you go to work somewhere, then he will give you money in exchange. So that is like a business proposal. If someone gives you money for the work that you have performed, that is not your mercy, but that is a business proposition. So you give love and result to the people who perform your devotional service. That is not mercy. I will consider you to be the most benevolent if if a person doesn't performs your devotional service and yet you become merciful without giving any consideration whether they are qualified or not. And when you become merciful without any cause or reason, then I will consider that you are not stingy. And Krishna promised in the coming Kali Yuga, I will fulfill your desire. And you're aware that I am a stingy person. So a person who has resided in Gujarat, they don't even let the seed of mango go waste. So he says that for that I need your mellow emotion, but you should be magnificent, benevolent. So to fulfill the desire of Srimati Radharani in Kali Yuga, 535 years back, he manifested as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as Radharani has said, if you want to remove this stain, then giving no heed to their qualification or disqualification, he gave his devotional service and love to even the Yavanas. And by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we all are performing devotional service towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is related to this Jhulan Yatra. And today is the last day of this Jhulan Yatra in India. So it is the foundation for the appearance or manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. So this is the essence behind it. So now, without wasting any more time, let's sing and oscillate the Lord and celebrate this festival.
सज धज के युगल सर कार बैठे हैं झूलन में, आज सज धज के युगल सरकार, चित चोर प्रभो जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की श्री जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित भगवत कथा अनुरागी
Hare Krishna, I welcome all the loving devotees of Srimad Bhagavatam. I also extend my warm welcome and gratitude to the fellowful senior devotees who have decorated this assembly. I also welcome you all who have joined from all the parts of the world through the medium of Facebook, YouTube, Govind TV, etc. That is all the listeners, attendees, devotees, and in particular, I welcome the organizers of this katha, that is the organizer for the fourth day, Srimati Laj Mataji, and her beloved son, Prakash Lakhania's birthday is today. And we pray that he gets the utmost mercy of Lord Shri Krishna and Balram and all of you. And with these well wishes, they seek the blessings of all of you. So Laj Mataji and the son and the family and all of you devotees, attendees on the fourth day of this grand celebration of Janmashtami, I welcome you all. Welcome back, and please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam. Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Krishna's childhood times of birth. So during this grand celebration of Janmashtami, we all are listening to the manifestation or the pastime of manifestation or birth, appearance of the Lord. And so far, we have heard that that Mother Earth was distressed and she went to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji accompanies Mother Earth with all the demigods to the Lord. And on the banks of Shri Sagar or ocean milk ocean, they prayed, venerated the Lord, and the Lord gave them a so he gave them a benediction that he will manifest soon. And all the demigods were told that by Brahmaji that you all should get ready and perform devotional service towards the Lord. So what has the Lord said yesterday? That when the Param Purush or the Lord will appear, then you should help the Lord in his pastime. So Brahmaji is telling this to all the demigods. So at this time, Brahmaji is the leader and Indra is the king of all the demigods. So he's the manager, as we have a temple president these days. So Brahma and Indra both were leaders, and they both were conveying the Lord's message to all the other demigods that you all should start serving the Lord and try to help him in his pastime. So Sri Shukdev Goswami says,
प्रजापति पतिर विभु आश्वास्य च महिम गर्भी स्वधामम परमम ययो इति आदिश्य अमर गणान। श्लोक को समझिए।
so please try to understand this verse in front of your screen. In this manner, Amargan, that is the demigods, were ordered. By whom? Prajapati, that is Brahma, and Indra. So this is in plural form, demigods. Brahma and Indra ordered the demigods that the Lord is about to appear or manifest, so you all should get busy with making arrangements to serve him. So all these demigods started in preparation of to serve the Lord. So some became eternal associates, and some became cows, calves, and trees, etc. So the one who ordered, that is Brahma and Indra, what did they do? It is said, Prajapati Vibhu. So they both went to sleep. So they made others busy, and the leaders, they went to their home and were resting peacefully. Guru Maharaj here adds that sometimes this is the position of the leaders. So it's not usually, but it's mostly the young neophyte devotees work hard, but the senior devotees or leaders, they just preach, they don't do any work themselves. And what is the fruit of that or result of that? So Brahmaji and Indra, they have given this order. So all these demigods became busy serving the Lord, but these two didn't serve the Lord. And there is glory of serving the Lord. In Bhakti Ras Tamrit Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami recites or writes this verse, and it is said it's in Chaitanya Charitamrit as well. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions this. And what does they say?
आपको इंग्लिश आता है ना, कि मुझे सिखाना पड़ेगा? संस्कृत श्लोक को इंग्लिश में लिखा है, मैं खुद सीख रहा हूं। सो अतः श्री कृष्ण नाम आदि न भवेत ग्राह्यम इंद्रिय। अरे कृष्ण छोड़ो, कृष्ण का नाम,
forget about Krishna, but even the name of the Lord or form of the Lord, his qualities, his pastimes, they are not to be understood or by material senses. So we cannot understand them by our short material senses. So the names, pastimes, form of the Lord cannot be understood by these material senses. Why? Because the Lord is transcendental, spiritual, divine, and all our senses are material. So by material senses, how can we understand the spiritual or transcendental name form of the Lord? So we cannot do that. So what is the solution we got? So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that there is one solution. You can see in the second line, Sevana Mukhe hi Jiva Do. If we serve the Lord or we perform devotional service towards him, so Sevana Mukhe means if we serve the Lord, so by our own strength we cannot experience the Lord. So what shall we do? But at least with our material body we can serve the Lord. By these material senses we can at least serve the Lord, and the senses will get purified and the Lord will get satisfied. And what will happen then? Swayam eva svarte ada. The Lord himself will make us experiences, because it is not impossible for Lord to make anything possible. So if we want to experience or understand the Lord through our material senses, then it's impossible. But if the Lord Himself makes us experience this ecstasy, then it's possible. If He wants, then He can even make a donkey speak Bhagavatam. So because the Lord is all potent and powerful, so by our material senses, we cannot experience transcendental Lord. But if we serve the Lord through our material senses, and by this, our senses will get purified, we will experience the Lord. And what will be the second process? By that, the Lord will also become satisfied, and the Lord Himself will make us experience Himself. If we really want to catch the Lord, then is it possible that we can catch Him? Can anybody tie the Lord? No. But if the Lord Himself wants to be bounded by us, then if the Lord Himself desires that I should be bounded by my devotee, so if we serve the Lord, then we will be able to understand the Lord. So in this case, what happened? The Lord ordered, and Brahma and Indra heard it, and they gave the orders to the demigods. But these two great leaders, they didn't perform the devotional service themselves. And because of that, all those demigods served the Lord. So their senses got purified. And by the mercy of the Lord, they could understand, experience the Lord. But in the whole Bhagavatam and the Krishna's pastime, there are only two demigods who could understand the Lord. And who are these two? That is Brahmaji and Lord Indra. So these two couldn't understand the Lord. So Brahma, so when Brahmaji saw Krishna eating with his friends, he became confused and he couldn't understand. And there was this Brahma Vimohan Leela. And second, Devraj Indra couldn't understand the Lord. And therefore he attacked the Lord with Samartak thunderbolt. And then the Lord had to lift the Giri Govardhan. So all these Mataji and all the demigods understood the Lord because they all were serving the Lord. But these leaders, president and vice president, there is Brahma and Indra, they were busy only in management and giving orders to others, and they themselves went to sleep. And because of this, as they haven't served the Lord, they couldn't get the mercy of the Lord, nor they could understand the Lord. So it implies that we all should perform devotional service towards the Lord. And if we are made a leader, then the leader should work 10 times more, because your responsibility increases many folds. So you should serve, and by that only you can satisfy the Lord, and we can experience Him as well by His mercy only. Sorry. So Brahma and Indra went to their own homes while all the demigods got busy serving the Lord. So Shukdev Goswami is now bringing this Bhagavatam on this earth where there is this marriage that is going on. So you can see the backdrop. There is a procession of marriage. The bride and groom are sitting on the chariot. So who is getting married? So let's listen from Shukdev Goswami's mouth. These are all very pure, pious verses.
No yadupati Mathura mavasan purim Mathura shura senamscha Vishayan बुभुजे पुरा विषयान बुभुजे पुरा। शूरसेनो यदुपति, यदु कुल के, यदु वंश के एक राजा हुए।
So there was a king of Yadukul and whose name was Shursen.
और मथुरा आवसनपुरी, और ये
And
यदु कुल के राजा शूरसेन,
he was the king of this Yadav Kul and he used to reside in Mathura.
विषयान बुभुजे,
Mathura,
ये माथुर मंडल,
this Mathurancha Senashram. So these Mathura kingdom was being ruled by these Yadavas. So who is this Shurasen? So in the beginning we have this name. So the name of the father of the groom is taken before. So the one who is going to get married, whose father is being introduced, so he is Shurasen. And who is he? Let's listen to that. So all you might be aware, as you all are very knowledgeable. So from Vishnuji, Brahmaji appeared, and then there were so many disciplic succession under him. So Atri's son was Chandra, and Chandra's son was Buddha. Buddha's son was Pururva. Pururva's son were Ayut, and Ayut's son was Nahush, and Nahush's son was, in that disciplic succession, Yayati and Yadu. Then Yadu's son was Kroshta, and Kroshta's four succession, they were sons, that was Sas Bindu, and in his fourth generation was Vidarbha, and Vidarbha's son was Kritha, and in the 19th generation there was Satwat, which is called as Satwat clan as well. So his son was Vrishni, and his son was Yuddhajit, and Yuddhajit's son was Anamrit, Anamrit's Vishni, and then Chitrarath, Chitrarath's Vidurat, and then Vidurath's fourth generation, there was Ridik, and Ridik's son was Devamid, and or Sahasrabahu. So Sahasrabahu had 10,000 sons, and as you are aware, Lord Parshuram killed this Sahasrabahu, and when then of these 10,000, only 5 were saved, and whose son is one of them is Shursen, which is being described by Shukdev. So in this disciplic succession, there is this king Shursen. If you want to remember in short, with Sahasrabhahu, Kartavya Arjun had 10,000 sons, and of them only 5 were saved or not killed by Parshuram. Of them, there was one Shursen, and Shursen's wife was Marisha. So we should know the name of the Lord's grandparents as well. So the grandfather was Shursen and grandmother was Marisha. So here his wife is not mentioned, but I should share it with you. So Shursen's wife was Marisha. So Shursen and Marisha's 5 daughters had 5 daughters and 10 sons. So Shursen and Marisha's 5 daughters were Shrutdeva, Shrutkirti, Shrutashrava, Rajadi Devi, and Kunti. So these were the 5 daughters of Shursen and Marisha. So who is he? So these were the 5 daughters. So the Lord had 5 paternal aunts. So we only know Kunti, but there were 5. Shrudeva, Shrudkirti, Shrutshrawa, Rajadi Devi and Pritha, whom we address as Kunti, Maharani. And Shursen and Marisha had 10 sons as well. So who were they? So they all would be. So Krishna had 9 paternal uncles, this kaka or chacha. So they were 10 sons. So 5 daughters and 10 sons. So first was Devbhag, then Devashrava, third was Ashtava, fourth was Kakushtaka, fifth was Dharak, then Srinjay, then Shamik, and ninth is Gandash, and 10th is Vasudev. So Vasudev is the 10th son of Shursen and Marisha. So the 10th son of Marisha and Shursen, actual name was Anand Dundubhi. So when Vasudev Ji was born, that time the demigods appeared, because the Lord has said that the Lord will appear in the home of Vasudev. So demigods were aware, as they were all waiting that when this will happen. So when this 10th son was born, then the demigods appeared and this announced, made an oracle that this boy will never tell a lie. And during the time of his birth, the demigods played musical instruments in celebration, and that instrument was Anand Dundubhi. Therefore, this child was addressed as Anand Dundubhi, the musical instrument. So he has 2 names, that is Vasudev and Anak Dundubhi. That is the musical instrument that demigods played in celebration of his birth. So the king of this Mathura Puri was Shursen, and their wife was Marisha, who had 5 daughters. The youngest was Kunti, and 10 sons, in whom the youngest son was Vasudev. So now Vasudev Ji is going to get married. And for your information, let me add one more point here. So this is not the first marriage of Vasudev Ji. Vasudev Ji already had 13 wives before. So this is the 14th marriage of Vasudev. So we think we know everything about Bhagavatam and Gita. I'm telling you, in Harivansh Puran, Ved Vyasji, after writing Bhagavatam, then Vyasmuni thought we should have written more about the clan of the Lord. So he wrote a Puran, that is Harivansh Puran, that is the Lord's clan is told in great detail. So we will discuss about this in future. I'm just telling you the main points from Bhagavatam. So Shursen and Marisha's youngest son is getting married. So he already has married 13 times. So do you want to know who are his 13 wives? So his first wife is Indira, then Vaishakhi, then Bhadra, Sunamni, Sahadeva, Sutanu, Shanti Deva, Shri Devi, Dev Rakshita, Vrik Devi, Updevi, Vadva, Rohini. So he has already 13 wives. And now he's going to get married the 14th time. So previously the kings were qualified, and the Vedas had given them this. So the Vedas and Vedic injunction have given them special powers to do the same. So we just know about these two, Rohini and Devaki, but there are 12 more. So now, Devaki, so Vasudevji has married 13 times. So who is he going to marry the 14th time? So let me introduce her as well. So he's going to get married. There was from Brahmaji, all the Vrishni Vansh or clan. In that, there was a Satvat Vansh. And from there were two different lineages. So there was one that is Andak Vansh, or lineage, or clan. So there was a king whose name was Punarvasu. So Andak's putra was Kukur. And from Kukur, in the 7th generation was Punarvasu. And Punarvasu's son was Ahuk. And Ahuk had two sons, Agrasen the elder, and the younger one was Devak. So Agrasen had 4 daughters and 9 sons. So who are his 4 daughters? Kansa, Kansavati, Sutanu, and Rashtrapalika. And Agrasen's 9 sons were Vyagrodh, Sutan, Anakaha, Shang, Sarvadam, Rashtrapal, Yuddhatushti, Sutushtiman, and your favorite Kans. So Agrasen had 9 sons. So Kans had 8 brothers. So these are the names of all the uncles, maternal uncles of Lord Shri Krishna. He didn't have only one maternal. So all they were also not his real maternal uncles. So King Devak's eldest brother Agrasen had these 9 sons, and of them there was one Kans. So who is the real maternal uncle of Krishna? He had 7 uncles and 4 maternal aunts. So he had 4 maternal uncles and 7 aunts. So King Devak's 4 sons were Devavan, Upadev, Sahadev, and Devarakshit. So these were the sons of King Devak. And King Devak's 7 daughters, Sahadevi, Shantidevi, Sridevi, Devrakshita, Vrikdevi, Upadevi, and Devaki. So these were the 7 daughters. So Devak had 4 sons and 7 daughters. So Krishna had 4 maternal uncles and 6 maternal aunts. Those were his real relatives. And then the cousins of Mother Devaki were also there. So in essence, Kans was not his real maternal uncle. So Shukdev Goswami, after introducing the clan, he proceeds further. He says,
मेरे भागवत में प्रिय श्लोकों में से ये एक श्लोक
so this is one of my favorite verse from Bhagavatam. So if you just read this, then so the Yadavas have made Mathura as their capital. So as we want to go to UK or America, so, and now they want to go to Mars or Moon as well. So during those times, there was a craze of Mathura. It was a famous place, a town, and all the Yadavas made Mathura their capital, and they all started residing there. And therefore, you will see there were so many kings who used to rule there. And while telling the benevolence of Mathura, he says, Mathura is how? Yatra Nityam Sannihito. So Mathura is such a place where Lord resides eternally. So Shukdev Goswami, before sharing the pastime of Devaki and Vasudevji or Krishna, he is speaking the glories of this place Mathura. So Devaki and Vasudev both used to reside in Mathura because in those times Mathura was full of all opulences. It was said that the cow and the daughter of Mathura, if they're extremely unfortunate, then they will go out. So they usually don't marry outside because Mathura is glorious. And in those days, glory Mathura was very, very opulent. And the best quality is that the Lord never leaves Mathura. He stays there, resides there eternally. Therefore, so we speak according to the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked, what is the prime responsibility or work that should be done by a devotee? And he replies,
Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Shravana. क्या करना चाहिए? साधु संग नाम कीर्तन भागवत श्रवण और मथुरावास श्री मूर्तिर श्रद्धाय सेवन मथुरावास श्री मूर्तिर श्रद्धाय सेवन। महाप्रभु ने कहा कि इस कलयुग में
so Mahaprabhu says that in this Kali Yuga, if you want to progress in your devotional service, then there are 5 very, very important instruments. First is devotee association, congregational chanting, and to reside in Mathura. So he wants to say that we should reside in pilgrimage, but instead of saying Dham, he says Mathura, because for Mahaprabhu, Mathura is glorious. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when came to Braj Chorasi, and what was the first place that he visited? His first feet was kept in Mathura. So to understand it further, for Muslims, the holy place is Makkah or Medina, but for Vaishnavas, it's Mathura, Nagri. So they go to Hajj. For Vaishnavas, it is Mathura. We should go to Mathura. So we Sanatani are not that much rigid, but we should try to go there because it's the birthplace of Krishna, and Shukdevji is sharing the glories of the birthplace of the Lord. So first you should try to understand his birthplace. Only then we can understand the pastimes of his birth or appearance. So Mathura is such a place where the Lord never leaves. So Lord Shri Krishna himself comes once in the day of Brahma, and there are 14 Manvantaras, and he comes only one. In the 7th Manvantar, 28th Yuga, he comes, and he resides in Mathura, but he manifests. So if you go to Mathura, so let's meditate on Mathura and agree. So there is a birthplace of Krishna, there is a beautiful darshan, and you will find Keshav Dev Mandir. or temple. So the great grandson of Krishna, Vajranab, established 4: Keshavdev, Baldev, Govinddev, etc. So, so Govinddev were established in Vrindavan, Haridev in Giriraj Govardhan, and Baldev were established in Dauji, and Keshavdev in Mathura. So this Keshavdev temple is in Mathura Puri. So this temple in 1669-70 was built, and from there, through there is a underground way, a path where from where we can just reach the actual birthplace of Lord Shri Krishna. And there is a beautiful image of the Lord that Krishna is taking the Lord towards Gokul, and the demigods are venerating the Lord. So in the month of Kartik, in Mathura, if we go to the birthplace of Krishna, then that person attains the abode of the Lord, that is Vaikuntha. And if we go to this Keshavdev, to the birthplace, so even today there is a 24/7 congregational chanting performed. And if you see, there is a great huge temple that is Bhagavad Bhavan. So Mathura is the place where the Lord resides eternally. This is such a place that Lord never leaves. And this Mathura, Shukdev Goswami says, Tasyam, in this Mathura, tu Krichit Vasudeva Kritudvaha. Vasudev ji came to get married. So in this same Mathura, Vasudev ji is going to get married, because only after that the Lord will appear. So whom is he going to marry? Devakya, Suryaya Sardham. So beautiful King Devak's youngest daughter, Devaki, is getting married to Vasudev ji. And it's not like today that we should just conclude fast. Earlier, the marriage used to be performed for many, many days. Till when I was young, what should I tell you? I was fortunate that when I used to go to my uncle's, so I sat in a bullock cart and attended a marriage. I might not be, not even 5 years. We have gone in tractor as well to attend a marriage. So we have seen that at least the marriage procession used to be for 3-4 days, but now they conclude in half a day. So the process has shortened, and similarly the marriage also is becoming shorter and shorter. People get divorced easily, but earlier they used to take time and celebrate for many days. So it is said that the king Devak made arrangements for Vasudev and the family or the groom side for 15 days. So there might be so many benevolent arrangements. And for 15 days, this marriage procession was celebrated. But now it is the time for Devaki to leave her home. And it is said that now it's the time for Devaki to leave her home. So nowadays, what happened when it's time for the daughter to leave? So earlier, the daughters used to go far, and there was not much of communication. So naturally, they used to cry. But nowadays, neither the daughter nor the mother they both cry. So now they are unable to cry, but it is necessary to cry. So there is a special thing. So they call the singers, professional singers who sing some emotional tunes, so that somehow they are able to cry. So to make them cry, they make arrangements for 10 to 15,000. If they are not there, then I'm sure that nobody will cry. But they are made to sit there and sing, and they play a tune where everybody gets emotional and they start crying. But here the songs of our auspiciousness were sung, and this was the time to let go of Devaki. And as you have heard, Mother Devaki had 4 brothers who were his, and he had 9, and she had 9 cousin brothers, whom the Kans was the eldest. So, so, so almost 13 brothers were there. So Kansa had special affection for Devaki, and he had so much love towards her that Shukdev Goswami had to write. He says, Ugrasena Sutah Kansa. As you've heard, he was the son of Ugrasen. So everybody was emotional, sentimental at that time. They were all sorrowful, grief stricken, but this person became highly distressed, and he was the son of Ugrasen. So during the time of the sister to leave, Kans became extremely sorrowful, and he started crying as well. And further, Shukdev Goswami writes that he is a khal. His villain is so you can never understand. Sometimes he will cry, and sometimes he will grab your neck. So Kans is crying. So these 13 were standing there. So what did Kansa do? So he just took a leaf from there. Devki and Vasudev were supposed to go on the chariot. On the chariot, he went there. You can see what is written in this verse. Ugrasena Sutah Kansa Swasupriya Chikarshaya. By motivated by the love of his love towards his brother, his sister, what does he do? Rashmin Hayanam Jagraha. So Hai means horses. Rashmi means the rope. So the rope of the horses, he took hold of them. So how did Krishna realize that Devaki and Kansa will sit on, Devaki and Vasudeva will sit on this? Why? Because this chariot was of gold, and there were thousands of such chariots. If Parikshit Maharaj says that, oh my God, thousands of chariots, from where do they arrive? Then Shukdev Goswami just added one point that, oh King Parikshit, King Devak, while he married his daughter, he gave many gifts to his daughter. So Parikshit Maharaj might have asked, what is the list? So he said, what have King Devak given to his daughter? And then Shukdev Goswami replies that King Devak, Chatuh Shatam Paribraham. Paribraham means the gift. So this is not a dowry. So there is a difference between dowry and gift. So dowry is when the groom side asks that we want a car or a motorbike, etc. We want this and that. Only then we will get our daughter married. So if someone says like this, then you should tell them that you should keep your son at home. If he cannot buy these things, then how he is going to maintain your daughter? So this, so although this has been removed, but still it's somewhere prevalent. So this was not the dowry. Vasudevji has not asked, but a father of a daughter, while sending her to her husband's home, although the daughter never asked, but this is the love of a father. Even a poor father, although he lives in a small cottage, he's a destitute, but such a destitute father also, when he makes her daughter leave, then somehow by taking some loan, etc., he uses all his strength to give his daughter so that she can be satisfied and happy, and when she goes, then at least her in-laws will be satisfied as well and will keep her properly. So a father tries hard to give to his daughter, and he is King Devak, so he is not short of any wealth or money. So Chatur Shatam, so Chatu means 4 and Shata means 100. So 400 Gajanam, that is elephants. So he gave 400 elephants. And how were they? Hem Malinam. If someone tells me that I want to give you 400 elephants, so will you be happy or you will be disturbed? Because how are you going to feed these 400 elephants? Someone will say, we want to give you cow in donation, but we have to feed these cows. So how much an elephant is, you have to feed them as well. So King Devak has given, during the time of her marriage, given 400 elephants, and along with that he gave everything that was required. That is considered to be the Gauda. They should donate the cow, and also they should give money to feed them as well. So it's like we have left or sent our parents to an old age home. So we have to take responsibility. So you all are anyways taking care of it. But here it is said, so 400 elephants, and they both all had grand necklaces of gold, and they all were bedecked with gold and ornaments. And Ashwanam Yud Sardam, and then horses were also provided. And how many? Ardam. That is 15,000 horses, 400 elephants, and 15,000 horses were given. And the chariots, how many chariots? 3 shat means 6, and 3 shat, 6 into 3, that is 1800. Shatam is 100.
15,000 घोड़े और 400 हाथी. देखो इतना कुछ दिया है अपनी बेटी को. आगे कहते हैं.
Further, he adds,
washing machine और वो सब नहीं था.
because those times we don't have washing machine, dishwashers.
बेटी को ये सब करना न पड़े इसलिए
So
दासी नाम सुकुमारी नाम
his daughter has not to work hard, so he sent the maid servants as well. He sent 200 maid servants.
घर पे काम करने वाली 200 दासियां दे दी कि मेरी बेटी को. और दासी भी कैसी ऐसी बूढ़ी मर
And how were they?
नहीं.
They were not the old.
काम करने को आता है
So
तो कहते ना मैं आपका सामान उठा लूं लेकिन आपको कौन उठाएगा.
this,
ऐसी नहीं.
so they were not
दासी
old.
नाम
So
सुकुमारी नाम.
they were
सुकुमारी
Sukumari, that is, they were very young
और सअलंकृतम और वे दासी
maiden
दासी नहीं
servants, a
रानी
maid
जैसी
servant.
थी दिखने में.
So they used to look like a queen
अलंकार धारण की हुई.
as they were bedecked with jewelry and ornaments.
कह प्रासाद याने धृति वत्सल. सुखदेव गोस्वामी भी
Shukdev Goswami
केवल उसी चीज का वर्णन कर रहे हैं
is mentioning
रास्ते
the
में
things
रोड पर दिख रहा है.
which we can see in on the road.
फाड़ के दिया होगा.
So what was the amount of the check
कितना दिया होगा चेक
or the cash?
यहाँ वर्णन नहीं है.
That is not mentioned here.
लगा सकते हैं जब
But you can
और
imagine.
को ये सब भेंट देने के बाद
And along with that,
अंतिम समय आ गया
now
विदा करने का.
now is the time to
बेटी को विदा करने
for
का
Devaki to
समय आया.
leave.
सुखदेव जी
And when it was a time, and Shukdev ji says,
और दुंदुभी उभय समम शंख नगाड़े
he says that conch shells and cymbals and all types of musical instruments were playing. The songs of
एक गाओ
auspiciousness were being sung.
વિદાયનું ગાઈ લઉં તો આ કંઈક લગ્નનો
May
માહોલ.
I? See, so that we can have that environment.
બેનારે ઓ સાસરીએ જાતા જોજો હેજી આંખો ના ભીંજાય. દીકરી તો પારકી થાપણ કહેવાય. દીકરીને ગાય દોરે ત્યાં જાય. દીકરીને ગાય દોરે ત્યાં જાય. હેજ દીકરી તો પારકી થાપણ કહેવાય. દીકરી તો પારકી થાપણ કહેવાય. सब लोगों की आंखें आंसुओं से भीगी हुई हैं आज.
So everybody's eyes were filled with tears now. Not only the people of Mathura are crying, but even the animals and birds were crying. Even the walls were crying that King Devak's daughter Devaki is leaving for her in-laws' home. And in this manner, she's taking a leap. And Devaki and Vasudev came towards this gold chariot, and Kansa was already sitting over there. So she was about to leave. So whatever were the rituals that was to be performed, so they were performed, and now it was time for chariot to move. And as soon as he was about to move, then there was the disturbance and distress in the heavenly planet, because the Lord has promised that I will come to kill evil like Kansa, but they saw that this extreme villainous Kans is going to serve the parents of the Lord. The demigods thought that there is a philosophical point that the Lord will kill his own servants, but he will never kill the servant of his devotees. So this is the obligation by which he started. So now Devaki and Vasudev are the devotees of the Lord. They are parents of the Lord. So if Kansa is going to serve them, then how the Lord is going to kill Kansa? So the demigods thought that now we should do something so that Kansa should not move this chariot. He should not be the charioteer. If he moves this chariot, then the Lord won't be able to kill him. And Shukdev Goswami announces demigods could not stay away a calm, and as soon as Kansa was about to move this chariot, at the same moment, Kansa heard something. When Kansa heard that, started looking here and there who is speaking, then he's understood that this voice is not coming from anybody, but it is a oracle. So that is an Akashvani or oracle. And what was that? In the second line, it is mentioned, Asya Atvamashto Garbo Hanta. That implies Asya, that is Devaki and Vasudev. So Devaki Vasudev Asya means Ashtamo Garbho. That is the 8th child of Devaki and Vasudev will be your killer. So demigods were intelligent. They never told that whether it will be a girl or a boy, but they said that the 8th child will be your killer without specifying the gender. So in this manner, the demigod spoke in an oracle, and now this Kansa, who was about to move the chariot of his sister, but as soon as he heard that the child of this sister will kill me, he started looking here and there, and he realized that it was an oracle, that her 8th child will be the reason behind my death. And Shukdev Goswami writes, Ita yukta sakhala papo. So this villainous, hideous, the black spot on the Bhoj clan was got ready to perform extreme cruelty. Shukdevji has abused Kansa a lot. He has given so many adjectives to him. He's villainous, he is evildoer, and the black spot on this Bhoja clan. So Goswami, Tulsidas and Shiva tells to Parvati, we should never ever trust a khal, and Krishna and Kansa is a khal, and we should never trust the speech or actions of a khal. Why? Khal is villainous. So Lord Shiva says, oh Bhavani, if a villainous person says something, then you should understand that something bad is going to happen. So for people's get down is to give trouble to others. If Dhanush or the bow gets down, then it will attack someone. If a cat bends, then it will kill a mouse. If Ankush is bended, then it will control the elephant, and so on and so forth. So now there will be a problem. So Kansa was about to move this chariot, and it is said in regards to Kansa that he was such a villainous person. Bhagini Antum Arabdam. He got ready to kill his own sister. How? Khaga Pani Khache Grahit. With his own hand, he took the sword and let go of the rope that he was holding, and with one hand he was holding his sword, and with other hand he snatched or grabbed the hair of his own sister, and he was about to kill his own sister. Shukdev Goswami says, when he was about to kill Devaki, there were thousands of people standing, but nobody had the courage to stop him. If there is some situation, will not people just gather that stop, stop? But people were so much scared of Kansa, as he was a cruel, violent person. And when he was about to attack his own sister, nobody had a courage to stop him or to even utter a word. Not even his father could utter a word. Just imagine, as you all have heard, you all know the background. Someone might have spoken, but when Devaki's hair were grabbed by Kansa, Shukdev Goswami writes or speaks, Kansam Jugupsit. Kans was doing was acting shamelessly. He was shameless. He has lost all his honor. And in the assembly of lakhs of people, there was no one who would stop him. But there was only one man who had this courage to stop. It's not easy to be the father of the Lord. Sukdev Goswami announces Vasudeva Mahabhaga. Vasudev is not any ordinary person. At this time, when nobody was able to stop him, Vasudevji came forward and he stopped Kansa. And let me focus on this word, Mahabhaga. So in an assembly, if there is something wrong going on, and if the person who is doing that thing is opulent by strength or wealth, and in that assembly, to stop this, you need a brave heart or great courage. We have seen such assemblies. That this is the assembly of religious principle, and everybody know that this action is incorrect and inappropriate. Everybody is aware of that, and after this, they say that this all is going wrong. But the person who is doing this, nobody has this strength to stop them. To stop such inappropriate action, there is a deep courage that is required, and that is why Vasudevji had this courage, and that is why he became the he became the father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if there is a offense going on towards Vaishnava, then you should try to stop them. Otherwise, you should leave that place shamelessly. If only one person is doing something wrong and you call yourself to be religious and in complete humility, you are tolerating that, at that time, the brother of Duryodhana, that is Dushasan, was unraveling the sari of Draupadi, and nobody spoke a word, because that humility, when there is something inappropriate going on there, we should not be humble. We should have courage to stop such people. So here Vasudev ji is referred as Mahabhag. When Kansa was dragging or grabbing the hair of Dev, so all the relatives of Devaki were there. So in assembly of other, everybody is standing and sitting. His own people are not stopping, but look at the strength of Vasudevji. Look at the courage of Vasudevji. When nobody was able to stop, then Vasudevji stopped him. So today's husband, her own brother is not stopping. So Devaki's real brothers were there. There were 8 cousins. So many people were there. Father, uncle. So today's husband was there. Her own brother is not stopping. Why should I risk myself? But nobody was able to stop at that time. Vasudev just stopped Kans. He's powerful and wise as well. He knew how to handle this situation. So the first act of Vasudevji, he was about to just behead his own sister, and Vasudevji immediately decided, and Vasudevji spoke. And what did he spoke? That we will listen tomorrow. So the foundation is that Devaki, Kans and Vasudeva are on the chariot, and Kans is about to kill her, and Vasudevji is going to stop, and by which technique, how it will happen, we will listen this tomorrow. But you all have been listening with so much patience and love. I'm really grateful to all of you, and I especially want to thank from Mumbai Laj Mataji and the son Prakash Lakhania that you have organized such a beautiful katha. So let's conclude the 4th day of this grand celebration with Jai Jaikar.
आज श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, श्री जन्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की, जगत गुरु शिल